Lisa, just tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm Lisa Shepherd. I have 3 children. I'm Stephen Thompson's partner.
Yep.
We've been together for 2 years.
Yes.
Stephen has 1 child, and I've been working in the business for 3 months.
Right. Okay. So what do you do there?
Accounts.
Okay. So you're keeping an eye on the money.
Slowly.
Listen, in this kind of podcast, we have real news and then fake news, all right? So if people don't like it, you can always blame it on fake news, okay? All right, how about you, Lisa? I'm sorry, Krystal. Krystal, how about you, Krystal?
That's the fake news.
Was that the fake?
I am Krystal Wilson. I am the wife of Cameron Wilson. We own the Kariong office, and we are going to be opening a second office in Barara in the coming months. We have 3 beautiful children, 8 now actually.
Yeah.
Isaac's just turned 8, and Indy, who's 4.
Wow.
We live in Kariong and work in Kariong, nice and close to the office, and it's a real community feel. And yeah, I do administration work, but now I've stepped into a sales role, and enjoying the new process and new learnings. And
Exciting.
it is very
Good.
yeah.
How about you, Angela?
Hello, I'm Angela, and I'm married to Robert Spitalieri, and we own Wiseberry Bankstown, and we have 3 children. I've been in the business for 12 to 13 years. Robert's been in business for about 25 years. He had a partner, and the partner wanted to retire, so that's when I stepped in, and I do accounts and administration and a little bit of marketing. Yeah, we work together, and it's good. It's challenging sometimes. You know, he might want to do something this way. I might want to do something that way. But in general, it's good.
We're going to talk about all this. We're going to talk about all this, all right? So let's dig in straight. Who's the boss?
We are.
Absolutely.
No, but personally, so who's the boss? I mean, you've been in there now 3 months. Obviously, I'm not going to ask you because right this time, you're training him into understanding you're the boss, so it's going to take a little while to train him. But how about the 2 of you?
No.
I mean, 13 years next to him, there's...
Well, they call me the boss lady.
Yes.
But I wouldn't classify myself as the only boss, so we're both bosses. Yeah.
2 years in, I am not the boss. I wish I was the boss sometimes, and I do stand up and speak what I feel is necessary or have my 2 cents. But I think we're still learning. We're still finding our feet with it. But technically, I'm not on paper. I'm not a director, so I'm not the boss. And we also have a business partner as well. So for Chad to expect that Cameron's wife is going to come in and start calling shots is unfair. That's not how they set up their dream business. But we are husband and wife.
Yeah.
And we are in the business every single day, and we do have dreams and goals and aspirations and what we want to happen. So, of course, we are going to, behind closed doors, talk about where we see the next steps going. And I do feel that my opinion is heard, and then with that information, he takes it back and they will make a decision then together. So, yeah, sometimes I am the boss, but it's just in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's working together as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, because you've been working around Robert for 13 years, Angela, maybe you should give me a bit more light here. How hard was it to work together in the beginning?
Oh, I wouldn't say it was hard at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. I don't find it hard to work with Robert at all. He's very easygoing. He's a very humble person. I don't find it hard at all.
Is he sometimes maybe too easygoing and you're going, come on, we need to get into this next year?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so how do you handle that? I mean,
okay, well, I do find that if I need to do something or if I see something, I might sort of focus on that a lot until we find a solution to get it done. Whereas, probably Robert does look at it as, don't worry about it, that's not too important, it's okay. Whereas I tend to sometimes focus on little things. I'm a bit of a perfectionist like that.
Yes.
I did have my own business, so maybe that's why. I'm not really sure, but I try not to overstep his authority because I find that also doesn't work. Sometimes we tend to clash.
Okay, here you go. Now we're starting to get into a real thing. For the first time, I hear the word authority. So what is it when we're working with our husband? What is it? We want the team to see him as ultimate authority? Is that what we try to do? When you say,
No,
I try not to
really.
overstep his authority.
Okay, no, I think what I mean is that if he wants to do something a certain way and I have given him my input and my opinion, and then he doesn't agree with me, then I'm probably not the type to want to force it upon him and then create a bit of negative vibes between the two of us. So I think that's what I mean. So ultimately, maybe when you said who is the boss, maybe then I do regard him as the boss.
Yes.
Because I do feel at the end of it all that what he says, if he doesn't agree with me, well then I'll be happy to go with what he has decided to do and support him on that. But what I find is that we actually work really well together. So if there is a situation, I will give him my opinion and he'll give me his, and then we usually tend to find a balance. Mm-hmm. I can also, when there's a situation, I can look at both sides of the problem. I can see the problem that, let's say, the landlord or the client or the buyer or the seller might be having, and then his problem, and then I will give him both scenarios, and then he will see a different aspect to it because I can step out of being right in the middle of that problem.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we work really well together in that respect.
I mean, I've been working with my wife now for almost 18 years, and in the beginning, it was tough because you're used to doing things your way. You're used to, for the lack of a better word, tell people off whenever you want it, but you can't really do that with your partner now,
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like you have relapse, or sometimes it just escapes.
Yeah.
And so it took us a few years actually to work out a way of doing it. And we found that the best way for us, it was a division of duties.
Yes.
So we have totally separate duties. And because Veronique is looking after things that I would never have to even think about, she makes decision in that respect. And so it never interferes with my field.
Yeah, so
that's probably...
That would be where I'm struggling now. So
Right.
I've stepped into a sales role,
Yes.
which is Cameron's role, and also the thing he's the leader of is
Yes.
the salespeople. So the first 12 months I was doing administration, and it was like he gave me this big basket and said, here's all the shit I don't want to do, sort it. And I just went through everything and got it to the way I wanted it to be, or how I thought it was going to work, and he respected my opinion on that.
Yep.
And that was I was going to say it was still a trying year. It was our first year, but it was a much easier year. And now we've stepped into this. Now I'm into a sales position where he is the leader, and also I'm going to say above me on it, or more knowledgeable, or has more skills. So when he goes to teach, coach, be the boss, it's very difficult as the wife sometimes to hear that and be quiet and listen and take it in and respect that he has earned that position and that authority.
Yes.
Because I still think, oh, well, maybe I could do it better. And maybe we should do it like this. Just trying to get our way around that now that we don't have the separate role.
Yes.
It is very much the same.
And I find that, if I could just share a piece of advice, men tend to have a lot of ego.
Yeah, really.
And because and she probably won't listen to this podcast, so I can say it. And the ego is quite often, I've won my partner, or I conquer your heart because of the strength that I have displayed. So now going to work, and I have to say that those strengths were fake, or they were not real, or I actually have a lot of weaknesses and I need to. Quite a lot of men can't put up with this. They still try to force that point, so that their ego is still out there showing, this is the reason you picked me.
Yep.
That's right.
And so they go from private life to a workplace where things need to be a bit more transparent, and they can't adjust. That's all. So is there any such thing as equality in workplace between couples? Really?
No. Well, not in mine at the moment,
Right.
because we're not equal. I think it depends on how your business structure is set up as well. I touched on it before. I'm not a business owner. I'm not a director. I actually am the wife and an employee. So, but I take on more because it is still ours, and Cameron lets me or brings me in to feel involved.
Yes.
But it's generally behind that closed door involved. It's not going to particular meetings or, projecting the forecast for the next few months or years. We have those conversations, but I'm not a part of those meetings. So in our office, it can't be equal.
So how do you deal with the sense of inequality, if I can?
Yeah,
use
not
that
very
word?
well. Not
Okay.
very well. We struggle around it. Actually, last night we just had this same conversation because there is a conference coming up which I feel that I should be a part of.
Yes.
And because don't have a title or a signature on paper, I'm not going.
Right.
And I want to know, I want to grow, I want to be a part of it. It's ours. I feel all that. And I think the more knowledge I have, the better it can only be for everybody involved. But at the end of the day, that's not how it is. And so sometimes it's hard for me, but when
No, but you're going too fast. We want to know a little bit more. No, we want to know a little bit more. So that conference, he said no. So
Yeah.
So what? How did you struggle with that?
I don't like confrontation.
Okay, so you said yes.
No, I didn't say
Okay.
yes. I don't like fighting. Once it gets to a point where the voices are raised and it starts to get heated, I back away generally.
Right.
So, and I always just say, just stop and talk.
Yeah.
Just try to help me to understand what it is. And
Right.
he had tried multiple times, but in the exact same way. And
Yes.
it was just like it was a broken record. And he was feeling frustrated. And I was saying, you've just got to say it differently because I just don't get it. Don't you want me to be there? And then he was like, don't do that. That's not fair either. It's not about the want. It's just the way that it is. And yes, I want you to be there. And yes, afterwards we will sit down and we will go through it together. I will always have you being a part of it. But there are some places you are and there's some places you're just not. And I don't know how, he didn't know how else to say it either.
So which conference is that?
It's the Kickstart next
Oh, the
year.
Kickstart one.
Yeah.
I think he's totally wrong. He's full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is where I struggle. So sometimes I feel in the business,
Yeah.
and then other times I feel out. So I've been to the leadership conference for the last 2 years.
Yeah, how?
And yes, one I was invited to, and the other one's wives were invited to. So that's where it's technically I probably shouldn't have been going, except one I got an invitation, and the next one wives were all going. But I'm growing, and that can only help. I don't know, I'm repeating myself, but I
Yes.
feel like that can only help all of us.
Yes.
And including my marriage. The things that have happened in the last 2 years on my marriage from doing all these growth things, seminars, courses, has been phenomenal. So why wouldn't we want more of it? Let's just get more of it. Let's do it. But
Yes.
then there's a much bigger picture. It's not just about Cameron and I. It's about the network, and it's about the culture within the network and how everybody else would feel about that as well. So
Hold on. You're going too fast. So what are you saying about the culture of the network? We should
well,
not
everybody might want to go then. Everybody who feels that they've got a position or feels that they want to grow will want to go. And there are places at
But
times where-
everyone who's a partner of our leaders or who are leaders can go. I mean, I've said it a long time ago when I first started our a relationship seminar, right? A few years ago. Unless your wife or your husband grows with you, they will grow apart, because the learning that we take, especially in our environment, is so fast paced. And because we're pushing people to really grow, I'm never happy with the status quo. I was having a conversation with my daughter yesterday, and she said, Dad, you always want more, you always want more. I said, yes, I'm a very bad friend in that respect. I'm not the kind of friend I'll sit down and say, oh, poor you're okay. No, I want to see where you at, and I want to see that tomorrow you're going to be a better model than you are today.
Okay.
And therefore, yes, I'm going to push people to grow. I'm going to have a look at what's not working so far and then push it.
Yeah.
And I think that anyone who's got a spouse who has a huge desire to grow cannot dwarf it, cannot stop it. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, for Stephen and I do joke around and call him the boss man.
Yes.
But I don't look at him as the boss. I sort of have more of a view that it's us doing this together.
Yes.
Even though on paper I'm not also a director or anything like that involved in the business, I am only working there. But I still have a view that Stephen and I are doing this together as one. And we discuss things and share things. I'll have to clarify whether I am actually going to Kickstart, because the accommodation's been discussed. I thought I would be involved, and
Yes.
I think I am. I hope that I am, because same with you, Krystal, the growth that I've had personally since seminar in Fiji is phenomenal. And like Stephen and I, it's been so good for us because we are growing together, and that was the start of our journey coming together in the business, and making the decision for me to change careers for lifestyle and suiting the kids, suiting what we wanted to do, and also me being able to help Stephen and Kiri. The frustration that I could see that they needed a hand, and I could
you were
feel
right there and
I could feel
able.
that void.
Yeah.
So it's working out for us.
Yeah, I mean, just to go through this, I noticed your growth since the seminar, which was your first one, right, in Fiji.
Yep.
And was it what you thought? Was it just leadership and figures and numbers? I mean, first there was figures, which you still liked it.
I still liked the figures.
Yes.
Because it gave me more of an understanding of the business, and
Yes.
I could get a clear picture of exactly where we're at and what was happening, and I can see what needs to happen and what we need to do.
Stephen, at the end of day one, she said to me, mate, she just said to me, we're going to have to recruit.
Wow. This is true. We're working on that.
Yes, but then the other 2 days, something happened to you. Do you want to elaborate?
I think Stephen has a lot of your insight into the mind and, emotions and all that type of thing, which he's probably learned a lot from you through his journey.
Yes.
I've always really liked that about Stephen. And coming to the seminar and just having all that in front of me, it was just, yes, I've got all this. These are all the tools that can help me better myself and help my kids. And I've applied a lot of what we learned more so to myself and to my kids.
Apparently to your cat as well.
Yes, we do. We do analyse the cat a little bit.
You've got to tell me. I have two.
Yeah, so but
Jealousy, anxiety.
Yeah.
your growth has been tremendous.
Yeah, so it was really good to have all that information, and I can sort of look back over my journey and think how I could have done things differently in the past and how I could have applied different tools. But, I'm now here where I am, and I've now got more information and more resources to move forward in a better way.
Yes.
Which is great for Stephen and I.
And in the end, which partner doesn't want a better version of yourself to push
Each
him to
other
the
up.
next level? Yeah, that's
right.
correct, isn't it? Oh, well, that's great. What about you, Angela? What do you think about the struggle that she's having right now at home?
Help me.
Yes. Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you know the real reason why Cam doesn't want you to attend the seminar?
I don't think so,
Does-
no. I don't think it's
Like,
a
could it
want. It's I don't know.
Because I just assumed
Well, I
that
don't
you've
get it.
been okay. So I thought because you're involved in the business, also on the sales side as well. So I'm thinking that would be benefiting you a lot to attend this seminar.
That's why I didn't get it, and I kept asking.
Yeah.
You're going to have to say it a different way.
Yeah.
But his main line, and the one that he kept going back to, was that there are positions or titles within inside a business, and I don't hold one of those. Because I don't hold one of those, this particular seminar, I'm
the kickstart.
the kickstart.
Yeah.
So the leadership conference, and that's what I'm going, but I've got a leadership conference, and I go to that. So how am I now not a leader? But he was saying you're taking it too far and too personal, and it's not about him. I've got to go back. It's not about him not wanting me to be there. It's him not thinking that
it's
the
necessary?
place that I need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I think
So it wasn't
that it is.
because that's what I got personal. I was like, why wouldn't you want me to be there? Look at the things we've been able to achieve since I've been going to these. And he was like, don't do that. And then he got actually more upset than angry. And it was, don't do that. It's not about me not wanting you there. It's just you're not there because there's certain places you go and there's certain places you don't. And this one doesn't have your title on it.
Yeah.
So
let's go a little bit deeper here because that may actually enlighten me as well. So how... So you don't stop there. So what happened as a partner then, as a spouse? What happened then? I mean, you can't just stop there and say, okay.
yeah, he tried multiple times and I said yes, and he got worked up, and I saw him now in some sort of pain where he was like, I don't want to hurt you, and this is hard for me to say, and I didn't want to make him stress anymore or hurt anymore, so I just stopped.
Okay.
And I said, all right, I get it.
But that doesn't mean that you ladies forgotten.
We never forget.
No, and that doesn't mean that you ladies have forgiven.
No. Yeah. But I guess when he said, I'm not going to share with you, and whatever's going to come next you will know about, I guess that had to be enough for me to say, I am going to know. I'm just going to know in a different way. And sometimes you have to be happy with that as well. You won't find out, or you won't get exactly what you want, and that's in business and in life, but you might get it in a different way. It'll just be more indirect. That's all.
Okay. So how would he feel now knowing that Lisa is going?
Good question. Let's ask him. Let's call Cam. Call a friend.
Well, we could do it later on. All right.
I'm sure I'm not the only wife in any business structure that has had these thoughts before. I would just like to know, when you were saying it's easy because you can respect Robert's decision and you don't want to step outside of his authority and things like that. I struggle with that, so I'd love your advice.
Well, what I found is that when we first started together and I started playing his role, we did clash. Like I said, we clashed on opinions and the way certain things should be done. So then I realised that we need to have separate roles. So he's got his role, he does his, being a real estate agent, his duties, and then I have my duties. So like you said, Thomas, Veronique does things that you don't do at all.
No.
And that's the same in my situation.
Yep.
What I do, Robert doesn't touch at all. And I find that works really well. Another thing that I found that didn't work very well was when I did make decisions, and let's say the staff, I answered some of their questions or I gave them authority to do this and that. Then Robert would say, oh, Angela, did you tell blah, blah, blah that it was okay to order that or to do that? And I said, oh, yeah, I just thought that would be fine. I think that's great. Oh, no, that's not, no, I don't agree with that. So that tended to happen a lot. And then I thought, okay, this is where we separate our duties. And since we've been doing that, it works a lot better.
Yes.
So I still deal with my staff, but on a different level to the way Robert. I don't sit in the training sessions.
Yep.
Maybe I should, but I don't. But yeah, I deal with the other side of it, with the relations, the contracts and the agreements and any queries that they have about wages, annual leave, things like that. Also, I organise the events, so Christmas parties, things like that. Yeah, so we have different roles, and that has worked better, much better. And I don't mind. I don't mind that he has to deal with some aspects and I deal with other aspects, because it relieves me from that. So when he comes home and he says, oh, I'm stressed because of this, at least I can step out of his zone and see both sides of that situation.
You're not in it as well.
Yeah, and I find that well. But I think, Krystal, you are more involved, as in you're in sales.
Yeah.
So I feel that you should be attending all the seminars.
Are you still doing the
especially
admin as well
Kickstart.
as the sales?
Parts of it,
Yeah.
So I still do
Yeah,
parts
so-
of the administration. I do, like you said, I do the wages, I still do events coordination, part of the marketing, very small part. Yeah, annual leave.
Yeah.
Contracts if we get new employees.
Yeah, so you're doing a lot, and the sales as
Trust
well.
accounting,
so
yeah.
you need to know all that. You need to be part of that knowledge that Cam's getting as well.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked you, do you know the real reason why? Is it because he doesn't want you to be away from the family? Maybe he wants you to be with the children or something like that.
Don't know.
Yeah.
No, I only can say what I said before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So maybe it's just have to have another discussion.
So you said you've got two separate parts of the factory that you both
Yes.
work on, but when you're looking at your big picture and your future and where you want the projections of the business to go, accountant meetings, are you involved in those types of conversations?
With my husband?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah.
And on a business level? Like
Yes.
And you contribute to making the decisions inside those?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not in a work situation.
It's not a direct...
like in a sales meeting or
Yes.
that sort of
I
situation.
mean, because of business and the way it's running or the profit or the loss actually impacts on the whole family.
Yeah.
It actually does involve you.
Yes, yeah. But this is where I guess we have the conversations, but I need to be comfortable with what I've got, and same as what Angela's got, where it's not direct. It's not in the sales meetings. It's not behind all the closed doors. It's him and I at home when we talk about it. Where is our future going? Where is our business going?
Yep.
And I've got to be comfortable with that being enough sometimes as well.
Yes.
And I think that's what I'm
Yeah,
struggling with.
sometimes.
But then hearing it from you, if it's making it work for you both, separate roles, which I don't have completely that, but being happy with getting the information at home and still making those decisions together.
Yes.
But not being direct, right in
Yes.
front of the forefront of all the decision makings and the meetings and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
not feeling like I'm missing out because it's coming home anyway. So
And
exactly.
you're still
Yeah.
getting to input into the decision.
yeah. It's just an indirect way.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think that at Kickstart you should be there.
Thank you.
I think so too.
All right.
What do you think?
To be discussed.
No, I think that it's, while the three of you are saying the right thing, in my mind, that shouldn't stop the fact that if a spouse wants to know more, that you should allow the spouse to be part of it.
Definitely.
You know, it's one thing to be at home and talk about the business because it impacts on us as a family. It's another thing when a spouse is saying, hold on, I want to know more. Because not only I want to grow more, but also I want to be the best sounding board I can be. I mean, if you coming home and you giving me situations with figures and I have no idea about where we were planning to go, because Kickstart's about goals.
Yeah.
And the figures we have to have, I might just talk about what I feel, not what the agenda was for the year.
Yeah. I said the same, so again, yesterday was, I want to be the best right-hand man. I want to be your best wingman.
Yes.
And to do that, I need to know everything. So then you can come home and say X, Y, and Z, and I'll be like, oh, wait, didn't we hear that it wasn't? It was something else, and maybe we should push this way instead. And I want to be able to be there and know, and not be like, oh, okay. And or the other thing too is I would show resistance. So Cam would come home and he would say, we've got to do this, this, and this. It's going to cost this. And I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And all I saw was dollar signs and not the bigger picture. I didn't understand the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I feel that more seminars that you go to, you're always going to get the next step, the next piece, the next puzzle.
Yeah.
So, that's why I want to be there.
Yeah. I find that, I'm talking from the man's point of view, I find that sometimes because of that ego of ours, I mean, it's our best friend after all, we sometimes want to hold on to that extra bit of information as that bargaining power, if you will, in the relationship. And some men, that's what they do, is that they try just to keep on showing that, you know, that's why you married me. You married me for my strength, for the Lion King that you see in me, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which is crap.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, that tells me about the sense of immaturity that you have. But sometimes in a relationship, the partner is such a control freak, is such a perfectionist, or have got so much anxiety driving them that they want more and more and ask for more. That for the men, enough's enough. I mean, do you ever notice this? That you could actually be at home and you're fine just while you're cooking, you're fine discussing some team members. Where guys like me or men, we go home, work is something you discuss at work, right? Home is home. Leave it to me. I need my beer and my TV, right? So sometimes
multitask.
So sometimes maybe that's the point, is that when you know as much as him, and you can multitask, that means he's got no time off.
Yeah, but he doesn't want time off.
Every man wants
we know
time
about
off.
that, don't we?
Everyone wants time off.
Balance. There's no such thing.
I think you've seen him change his mind. I was in the car with him yesterday. We were coming back from a podcast we were doing, and he said to me, I actually replayed some part of that podcast to my team members, and I made sure I replayed a few times and have a look, mate. Today, nobody's sent me a message.
Yeah.
The team has, they just got the point. When I'm out and I'm busy doing certain things, leave me alone. Look after your own things. So I said, are you saying that whatever you said on that podcast was really shit? Right. So it does work, and people do change. And sometimes they change it when you least expect, right? So I think that maybe it is an issue that you can talk, but I really appreciate talking about it, because that represents a wide range of issues that goes on this way.
Yep.
We tend to play tennis, and then quite often when the game doesn't go the way we want, we both, so men have got their ways, their self-defense mechanism, but you also, ladies, have got your defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, how did the night end?
Yeah, good.
Oh, it was good.
No, it was good. Because, well, I saw him now in, I'm going to say pain, but it was more of a mental pain, and I'm not saying it right, and he was getting upset and didn't want to hurt me and trying to backtrack, but then trying to still make his point. And so it ended with, I'll stop, enough, and I love you and I love you too. And
yeah, because listening to you right now, I don't think that the game was finished. Did you feel that, Lisa?
I think you still need to discuss it more, and like Ange said, ask the real reason why. And just sort of try and get
I don't
to
think
the
I
bottom
think
of
it's
it.
over. It's probably over for him, but not for me.
Then it's not over.
Because I didn't get the answer I wanted. No. But again, just needing to probably surround myself with more women who are in the same position I am, and realising that I do have it very lucky, and I am learning a lot, and I am a part of lots of things that some people even aren't. And taking some information has to be better than nothing at all.
Can I just ask you, because I just said that 5 minutes ago, do you ever talk about work at home, or do you have rules about home and work?
No rules.
No, we don't have rules. If we need to discuss something, we will. We try not to let it drag on for too long. But yes, when Robert comes home, if things need to be discussed, we will.
And that's something that Stephen and I have done even before I was involved in the business. We've both come home, talked about our day, discussed what's happened and whether it be good or bad.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
you go from there. So we still discuss what's going on in both our days because we're not together all day every day. So it's good to chat.
We started with rules. We started with you walk in the door, the phone goes off, you don't talk about work, we spend time with just the kids, and we just found it didn't work. It ended up because one person wouldn't do it that day, and then it would cause angst between us, and that was worse for the kids than like them seeing mum and dad unhappy with each other than what it would be dad just picking up the phone or making that phone call, or mum just talking about something that she had in the day. So, and now we actually keep the kids around and very much involved in it, and they ask questions all the time as well. And they know all the employees by name and what they're doing. So when we talk about a sale they got through, it's, did Darren get that? How awesome. Like high five. And they're excited now. So we started with the rules, and I know it works for some people, but it just didn't work for us either.
Okay. How about the staff? Do they treat you any different to your partner? Do they take you seriously?
Mine do. I have great staff, or we have great staff. If they can't get Cam or Chad, sometimes they might give me that call, and that's fantastic. There have been times where I have...
So in the office when Cam is not around?
Yeah, I get asked the question.
The work output is still the same?
Yeah.
They don't go on holiday?
No.
Okay.
No, we are, and we bounce off each other. Well, I'm the same, so they sometimes help me, and it's like, come on, Krystal, let's go. We're going to get out the door now. So we do help each other. So there is a level of I am an employee and I am less learning a role, and we're doing it together. But then there is also a, hey, Krystal, do you know what this is? Or could you help me with that? Or let's work on it. Or can you find out the answer? And then I will. There have been times where I've put myself down and said, I'm not a leader, in front of the staff, and one particular, and she will actually turn around to me, Ellie, and say, don't ever do that again, because you are. And you're the strongest role model from a woman that I have, and I love watching you work and do what you do, so don't do that again. And so that's been awesome for me.
I guess for me, coming into the business, as I said, I've only been there 3 months. So coming in, I'm Stephen's girlfriend. So to start, I did find that the girls were quiet, a little bit standoffish.
Yes.
But as the time's gone on, we are starting to build a relationship, and we're warming up to each other, so which is really good. Yeah, so I think it's going well.
Great. I tend to see myself as one of them.
Yeah.
Probably because when I first started, I didn't know much about computers and all of that. So I did get trained, just being in a different industry altogether. So I tend to ask them a lot of questions, like my secretary, Isabel. I ask her a lot of questions, how to work my computer, how to do this, how to do that. I'm a lot better. I'm not that naive, not that bad. But they know that I have a different role to Robert, and so they will come to me with questions regarding certain things, and I will deal with them in that way. I'm not in the office every day, so I work a lot from home. So I'm on the phone with my staff, email and texts a lot, and I see them usually once a week. I just find that works best for us.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's
in general, I would say it's not the staff that I'm worried about. It's the 400-pound gorilla, that monster that you have in the office that does great results, that things now, or that's got a title that is important, that now seems to push his way a little bit, I mean, I'll give you an example. I had an IT working for me, And after a little while, I mean, he'd been around us for quite a few years. And then he started to show some disrespect to Veronique. And slowly, whatever I said, there's no problem. Whatever Veronique said, he'd discuss, he'd do his own way, he'd go about his own way. And so that sometimes there is a little bit of that friction that happens. I took him in the office and I told him to F off or start respecting my wife. But I catch him again, I will kick him out. So things went back to normal. But I do realize that because quite often, especially in the sales environment, and the sales guy especially, I'm not talking maybe about support team or property management, but the sales guy, they seem to have something that goes beyond the title. And what seems to be their main title is the amount of money they bring in. The more money they bring in, the more they think they can push things around, especially with the spouses. Do you ever find that or not?
I don't have a 400-pound gorilla.
Okay. Oh, well.
No.
You never had
I
that?
do have 400-pound gorillas. Not mentioning any names, but yeah, I refuse to get that involved.
Yep.
But when you see how it affects Robert, how does that then affect you?
It does affect me.
Yeah.
And I probably deal with it directly with Robert.
Yep.
So I will talk to him and say, okay, maybe you could have dealt with that situation like this, or you could have said this, or you could have said that, or how did that make you feel when they said this to you? And then he will tell me and then go from there. But like, do I directly deal with the 400-pound gorilla? Only if it has something to do with me. If I felt disrespected or if they said something about Robert to me, which has happened, I will go directly to them and say, no, I don't appreciate you talking about my husband like that. If you have an issue, you go directly to him. So, yeah.
Yeah. In every business, we have good times, we have bad times. Some of the bad times in real estate can be pretty impactful. How do you deal with this?
Oh, go home and have a big crying session. No, not really.
Glass of
Glass of
wine.
wine.
Big glass.
Chocolate.
Oh, probably just lots of like, you know, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? Why, you know, yeah. Probably I should just have wine.
I think communication, it's what every
Wine and
relationship,
discussion.
everything needs.
Yes.
So wine and some discussion or
Yeah.
wisdom. But yeah, when it is tough, if you then stop talking, it's only going to get tougher. And there's only going to be more questions and there's only going to be more what ifs. And until you can talk them out, you're not going to get any of the answers and you're not going to be able to move forward. So I think communication's probably the biggest one when it's tough. And it's got to be open and honest, and it has to be facts. You have to work in facts. I sometimes make up a bit of a story and then it gets quite big. And I've got to be pulled back down to, well, what are we actually working with here? This is what's happening. This is what's happened. This is what we can do to fix it. Cam's got a really good one about the two questions you have to ask yourself. Can you fix it? Yes or no? And then what do you need to do to fix it? And if it's a no, well, then you can't, but you need to get over it then. You need to be Teflon, so it just slips straight off because you can't carry it around if you can't fix it. So...
Yeah. And also, depending on what the situation is, sometimes you've got to ask yourself, is this situation going to affect you for the next year or two?
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer is no. So it might be just something little that you tend to explode into a big problem. Sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something that you just have to deal with at that time, and it'll be...
I don't know about you girls, but for Cam and I, we always seem to be, which works well, but we're always on opposites. If he's on a down, I'm generally on a high.
Right.
So then I will be like, yep, let's go. I'll give you a moment of pity moment, or there, poor you. And then it's, let's move on now. Let's go. And we pick back up, or it's vice versa. We never really seem to be on a lull or in the same, I guess, flat moment. We're
Which
always
is
a
probably
little bit
really
different.
good.
It's
It's good.
it's always worked well for us. We always say, and it's something our marriage and our business has benefited from, but we always deal well with the shit. When somebody's got something around them or something happening, the other person is always there to pick them up. And I think it also comes from time together, but love for each other. When you realise somebody needs that moment, or when it's not about you, it's always much easier
And being able to recognise that in each other as well.
Yeah.
Pick up on that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like it. I'm listening. You don't have to answer all my questions. Maybe you have questions too. I'm looking at you, I'm thinking, man, this is good. This is good stuff. I'm getting a lot of information out for myself.
I like this girl. I think I need more of the Women's Association. Just even looking at you, I know people can't see this, but looking at you, and I feel genuine and a connection, and like you understand where I'm at, or could help me through next stages, and so I think we're going to exchange numbers and be talking a lot after this.
Well, they do that. The leaders do that. They have they call another leader for advice.
So they've got partnership groups where they get together.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's how you grow. I mean, the seminars, like you said earlier, Lisa, it's very good because it gives you the baggage to deal with. And quite often, I'm sure you've already used information to better your children. This is what we are on about. You know, the journey of leadership is not just about us. It's about us, our spouse, and then afterwards, when we're the best we can be, we can give that best to our children. I love it when I see people improving the life of their children or even improving their children because of their journey. Even outside our group, I see families where people think that children are going to just become a better version of themselves without us improving. That doesn't happen. That's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very important to make sure that our spouse who are working around with us are really in tune with what we do and how we feel. How do you guys relax when you're together outside work?
Do you mean how do I relax with my family or with Robert?
With Robert, or maybe with your family, whatever you like.
Or me, or how do I relax?
It's for you too.
Oh.
Do you relax?
I do.
What's relax?
I do. No, I do. Okay, well, I really believe in doing things for me as well. I need to exercise.
Right.
So that's something that I do about 3 times a week, and I will have a workout, like CrossFit.
Are you
something
serious?
like that? Yeah.
Did you listen to that
I
podcast?
I did.
How good is that one?
Yeah, very inspiring.
That kid
He
is
sounds
crazy.
like a great guy, but I'm halfway there.
Yes.
So that's my part of relaxation. Before I do anything, that's what I do. So when I get up in the morning, I will make the lunches for Dante and sometimes Giampiero, and they go to school, and then I do my exercise. We relax also with going on holidays whenever we can.
Yes.
Dinners, having friends over. Also, Robert and I tend to have date nights, so we'll have dinners together, or even just being in the house alone is
So date night is when
excitement.
just the two of you alone?
Yes, yeah, just the two of us, and we'll go to dinner. Sometimes we go dancing, whatever we want to do.
How often do you do that date night thing?
It was a planned thing before because we noticed we weren't doing a lot of it, so we were planning it, whereas now it sort of just seems to happen. So probably, I don't know, once a month.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. We tend to have Dante with us a lot. He's my 12-year-old, almost 13, which we don't mind at all. It's nice being the 3 of us. I have 3 children, and one lives away from home with my dad, actually. And Giampiero, he's got a girlfriend, and he's sort of does his own thing, but he does like to join us as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do things like that. Also, going on holidays together alone has been really nice. And the first time I ever did that was when we did the partnership seminar in France.
Wow. How good was that one?
That was really good. And if
what
Thomas
a way to kick it off
knows
in
that
France.
I didn't want to leave my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also because of the help. My dad's almost 90.
Yep.
And he's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I do a lot for him and he does a lot for me. So I just thought, how can I do this?
Yeah.
Anyway, I did. And it was all good. And so.
We do it on a much smaller level. So in the afternoons, once the kids are in bed and it's quiet time, generally we will have a glass of wine or a show or just time together, and we pick the chairs that are closest to each other and we hold hands, and that's our small moments of it's just you and me now.
That's nice.
Which I enjoy every day because it's the small. If you're always waiting for a big thing, you're going to miss all the little things along the way. So it's a terrible show. It doesn't matter. We're together and that's okay. So that's our small moments. Mm-hmm. We have never done, we've never had a planned set. We're going to do date night. Sometimes things come up, which is fantastic, and we go. A lot of events that are coming up inside the year, we always try to plan a day or two either side of it. So for instance, we have an awards night. So we make sure that there's a day before or after it When we have gone away for the conferences, we make sure there's a day or night before or after it that's just for us. So when there's big events, we make that extra time, but we haven't gone on any real long holidays or overseas or anything like that, unless it was around work at the same time. But that's why it's important for, like I said, the small moments to make sure you do put a day or two either side.
Definitely.
For us.
That's true. We try a couple of nights a week, rush home, and usually when we drive up the road, my youngest, Max, who's 14, he's out the front on his bike. Most days he has his helmet on, some days he doesn't. But there he is, and he's like, "We're going for a walk today." So a few afternoons we try to get home at a good time, take our little Aggie for a walk, little toy poodle. So we like to do that. We have a glass of wine most nights, every night, which is nice. We sort of get tea together, and that all those little things are the daily things that which makes everything worth it.
Yeah.
Does he dance every night after his wine? No.
Depends how much wine, right?
I definitely have to say though, I don't do the something just for me. That's one thing I do feel that I miss sometimes. Like even if I have to get my hair done or eyebrows waxed, it's always in between something else, and I've got to try to squeeze it in while I've got.
And
sometimes Indy literally sits on my lap while I'm getting my eyebrows waxed. Like
Indy, your daughter.
Indy, my daughter, sorry, who's 4, and sometimes she'll be holding my hand, or because there's that time thing for myself which I struggle to take.
Yeah. Do you work full time?
I work full time
in the
business,
away from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's but you should.
I think you can still organize it. I mean, I still believe you can still organize it. There's a lot of high achievers. I mean, ladies who still manage to their time so that they have their time. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can give other advice, but why not hire someone to look after, or even get maybe your mother-in-law for that one night when it's just your time, and you have to do it.
Yeah, she's actually amazing. She will be the first one, again, back to the date nights or some time together, or if she sees that where Cam and I might not be as connected, she will pick it up sometimes before us and be like, "I'm going to stay tonight, you guys go off to dinner," or she'll order us food in, so I'll get home and all of a sudden there's something getting delivered, and she knows that we just need that moment of nothingness. I guess this is something I need to work on, is I then feel like I'm burdening somebody, or I feel guilty for not picking up the kids right on the time I finish work. So I do. There could be a time slot there because the kids are at either after school care or daycare, and if I finish, there's probably about an hour, sometimes even 2 hours, where the school and the daycare is not closed. So I could go and spend that time, but my gut or my initial thing is go and get your kids. Like, you've just been away from them all day.
Right.
Go and get them now. It's not about you now. It's about them. So. But
if you take some time for yourself, when you actually come back to the kids, you can be a better mum.
Yeah.
Because you've just let your mind settle. You'll feel better. You'll feel fresh.
Yeah.
And you can come back and be a better partner and a better mum.
Exactly. And you can probably do that once or twice a week. Doesn't have to be every day.
Yes.
That you do that.
Yep.
You could pick them up late. Just set
and
yourself
whether
a
it
day.
be just going for a walk, or it doesn't have to be facials and hair and all the expensive things.
Just your time. Even being home to do your things.
I wander through the shops on your own.
How imagine that.
Yeah.
But Stephen and I have done a similar thing to you guys this year. We've booked an extra night in the city after the awards night, and we've got a couple of nights away coming up, which we're really looking forward to, because we've just had such a busy time and a huge change for both of us, with me coming on board, and change of routine, because I was doing shift work before, so I had 4 on 4 off.
Yep.
So it's been a big transition for the family to have me now away from the house 5 days. So it's been a big change. So we're really looking forward to our couple of nights away.
Lovely. Where are you going?
Good. In the city.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's for the awards night.
Oh, and
more.
Yeah,
ooh,
a couple.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
When you make big profit, you can do whatever you like. Right? Too much money, might as well just go to the harbour bridge and throw it. Now, what would you wish more of in your business? If I had a magic wand now and I said, whatever you wish for, I make it happen now. So working with your partner, what would be something that you want more?
It's a tough question, because I think I'm pretty spoiled.
I'm almost thinking that way too, but I don't want to say that out loud.
I tell Stephen all the time that I'm spoiled.
As I said, some of this is fake news, so we called.
Consistency. Yeah, so the roller coasters aren't so up and down, just a bit of consistency.
Right. One of the things, for example, just to share mine, that I've done is whenever I am in the office, I try my best to maybe have lunch with Veronique. And sometimes lunch is not just a sandwich over here. I will just go to the restaurant and then we'll just have a bite together. And I try and do that at least once a week. And because that's a special time too. That shows that even though we're working, why can't we just have that time that is special for us when we're working? Why does it have to be at night, and why does it have to be a set time, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes I try and do that as what we call a surprise.
Surprise. Yeah.
You feel like doing it today, you just do it today, you know?
I like that.
I told you I'm spoiled because Stephen and I have lunch together most days.
Oh, here you go.
If he's in Richmond, most days we just have lunch at the office.
What did you say? What did you say? If he's a rich man?
If he's in Richmond, in Richmond office, at the Richmond office, we'll have lunch, usually something that we've brought in from home, leftovers, or I'll make a salad or something.
Yeah.
And then we often sneak off to sushi, maybe once every fortnight or so.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
Listen, it's been great talk, but I just wanted to ask you before we finish with this, what would be your 5 tips for spouse to work together efficiently in an office? It doesn't have to be 5 of yours. It can be all 5, but you can agree or disagree with the tips that you bring out. And if you want to give me your 5 tips, please be my guest.
Okay. So I think that having respect for each other's opinions and conversation is really important. So voice your opinions, but also really listen to the other side before making judgment or making a decision. So hear both sides. And
that's your number 1.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
How about you?
Well, respect and communication were both going to be my top 2.
Yeah,
exactly. But just to always remember that if you have had a bad day, it's only one day and tomorrow is a new day and you can start fresh. And as long as you keep the communication open and have the mindset that it's all going to be okay and tomorrow is a fresh day, you know, you can kick off on a better foot the next day. Not that we've had any bad days, but I can see that it would be a struggle if you were in the same area, like you and Cam both being in sales, where Stephen and I'm not in sales, so it's quite different for us.
Yep. Okay. I think we're all going to be the same, but definitely respect, communication. You're saying the
so
next...
that's already said, so you're going to have to come up with another one.
Another one. And you're saying the next day...
I mean, if you can think of another one before Krystal gets there, there's no problem. But we need to get 5 different ones.
I think to inspire is really important too. So if your partner comes home and he's had a really bad day, I think that you should be able to inspire him and lift him back up and let him see the real reason why he's feeling like this, deal with it, and then just get over it and then start again, like you said.
So mine would be loving kindness then. Yeah. Love. You just got to love each other.
And because you love each other.
Yeah. So if you're always coming from a place of love, then you can't really go wrong, can you? If there is an issue and you're still coming from a place of love, you can get through it.
Nice. It's a bit hard though, no? It's like some partners are so competitive. How do they love? I mean, love is replaced by competition. There are partners, there's couples where their entire life is about competition, right? And at the relationship seminar, I talk about it. There's some partners, their life is a trade. I do something for you, you have to do something for me. And the entire relationship is a trade. There's no unconditional love. I can give you 10,000 things without even expecting one in return from you. Some of those relationships is, no, hold on, the last 2 fights we had, you won. I'm not going to let you win this one. This is the trade. It's going to be the next 2. I'm expecting something for me. Yeah. That's a bit difficult.
Yeah. Well, same with the competition, like you said, oh no, I have to not just win a fight, but I have to be the best.
Yes.
I always have to be the alpha,
yep.
for instance. So I think, people are going to get that word love mixed up. It's the genuine love. It's the real love. It's the unconditional love.
Yes.
It's the connection love. It's the one where you can remove yourself and it's about the other person and you know you're getting that in the same we don't even have to know you're getting it. It's not about you and me. It's what I'm going to give to you, and that's just love.
Nice. What's the next one?
What have we got?
What is it? We have respect and communication. Yeah.
We have love.
Inspire.
The next day is always a fresh day.
Yes. Okay. Start a fresh day. Yep.
That could even be fresh moments, though.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you can have something happen, but you both need to start fresh in the next step or the next thing you're going to take on.
I think you also need to have time away from each other. So if you're working together all the time, you need to have the things that make you happy, that you do just for yourself. So me, Angela, I do this just for myself, and I don't want you to be part of that. So it could be exercise, it could be going out with my girlfriends for a dance, it could be whatever. And then you do the things that you do for yourself, just to give you that space, if you feel that that's what you need. So I think that's important, because I also do feel that when you're in a relationship, so when you're married, you don't own each other. No. So you're two individuals.
Yes.
And you have to work together and be together and love each other and be happy with each other. But you're also two individual people. So you have to nurture both of those people. I really believe that that's important. So maybe having a bit of separation or a bit of time out from each other. I think that's would be
good
important.
Point.
Yeah.
Very, very good point.
I must say, Stephen and I aren't in each other's pocket all day, every day. Which
No, just at lunch.
just at lunch. So he's at Penrith office a couple of days of the week. I'm at Richmond every day, but my desk isn't actually near Stephen's either. So there's a row between us. So I've kind of, when I'm at work, I've got my own space as well, which I think has made it an easier transition.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah. That's very important.
And I also mean that not only for work, but also for home life. Just
definitely.
Yeah. I think it's
You still have to be your own person.
Exactly. And you can't stop the other person from doing what they really want.
And a mum and a wife and a friend and a colleague.
Exactly.
Listen, ladies, I really want to thank you for taking this time. I think we very fortunate to work with our spouse. I think that most people marry someone and they say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But really deep down, they're only spending a few hours a day, right? They sleep for 8 hours in a day. They work away from each other for 8 hours plus the travel, so another 2. And when they come home, if they have children, it's time into their children. Sometimes it's time onto the phone. And really, the only time, if you really cut down, most couples have got maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half together, really in a day, you know. And sometimes even watching television, if you're watching television, you can't really say it's your time together because you're not talking, right? And so I know that I have taken away quite a few things here now. It's going to really help me in my relationship. I just want to thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, girls.
Thank you.
We better exchange phone numbers now.
Yes.
Right?